Okay.
And there's the surprise. We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to SVT time. It is Tuesday. It is SVT time. This is episode number 95. We've done this 95 times. And contrary to what Nikki was saying earlier, we're still not pros at this, but we're still trying to figure it out. But anyways, very special guest today, Nikki Monninger from Silversun Pickups. Say that 10 times fast. My gosh. And Nikki, you're pretty much a veteran of doing this. You've done this with us before for International Women's Day, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, and thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh. I know your schedule's been crazy with the new release and everything. So thank you for taking the time to do this. This is awesome.
Take time for you, Dino.
We've got a bunch of things, and of course, where my man is. I didn't introduce my wonderful co-host Dom Liberati as well.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a few years since we've had you on, and I know obviously there's a lot has changed, and you've been busy, and we'll post some of the social links for Silversun up here on the screen here. So for anybody that wants to go check out their socials, Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. But talking about you, Nikki, first of all, where are you originally from? Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Miami, but I grew up in Los Alamitos, which is in Orange County, just about a half hour south of Los Angeles, where I'm at now.
Okay, and that's obviously where you reside now. Now, did you grow up in a musical family? What's some of your musical background?
We always had a piano in the house. My dad is from Germany, and his mom, like pretty much the only thing she brought over from Germany was this piano. So it was always in our living room. And when I was 5 years old, I started lessons. And so I have many pictures with me and my Cabbage Patch right beside me, playing. And I just grew to love basically classical songs when I was growing up, and I took lessons for 10 years. And then once I was in high school, I started taking guitar lessons as well.
Okay.
And my teacher, he was a country western player, and
wow.
He's still playing in Nashville. His name's Eric. So I started with that, and then I didn't start bass until, I bought a bass from my best friend's brother, at the end of high school, and then just sort of kept it on the side. I was always drawn to bass melodies in music. And so there's something always in my mind to start learning, but it really took till we started Silversun, till I really started playing it. And, Brian and I were roommates after college. I'm just like, yeah, we met in an exchange program going to Cambridge, England. And through that, we saw, so much live music over there. It's like Radiohead was still, they were playing at like small clubs. So there was a place in Cambridge called the Junction, and it probably holds like 200 people. And we got to see Radiohead for the first time.
Wow.
Green Day there. It was like all these. It was like an amazing time to see music, and that was what brought us together, Brian and I, as friends. And then when we came back to California, we finished college and then became roommates after that, living in Silver Lake.
Okay.
So then we would go and see live music at the Silver Lake Lounge, and it was called Spaceland at the time, which is now no longer there. But it was just, we would see, the White Stripes, Spoon, like any band.
Wow.
Through. We were pretty much at one of those places, and also the Echo and Echo Park. We were pretty much at one of those places at least 3 or 4 times a week. So.
Yeah, it was such a good scene then.
It was such a great scene. And so it was very nurturing towards artists. They'd have and for us to come because, we didn't have much money, amongst us. So they would have free nights and they would have bands. I think Mondays was the free night at Spaceland, and then sort of the Sound would have their free night. So it was just like bringing the community together. And we saw, I guess, through that how, we saw our friends in bands and we're like, let's start a band together. You see people that getting up there, and then you're like, we can do that too, basically. And so, after we were roommates for a few years, we decided to start a band together. So it was very organic and spread over a long period of time. So it wasn't like something that we were like, let's see how we can break into the biz. We were just like, play music together. And pretty much we were very happy just doing that. And, we didn't even have merch. We didn't have t-shirts. We didn't have, I don't even think we didn't have nothing for like 4 years into our band. And finally we're like, maybe we should make something, so we made, we had made a 7-inch, actually, maybe like 200 copies or something.
Okay.
With friends of ours called Pine Martin, which it turns out Joe, our keyboard player, was in that band. So when we started, it was Brian and I and his girlfriend at the time, Elvira, and my boyfriend at the time, Kennedy. So for the first 2 years, it was the 4 of us. Okay. And then after around 2002, it became the lineup it is now with Brian and I and Joe and Christopher.
Okay.
So we've been together, the 4 of us, and for 24 years now.
Wow. Yeah, like you say, it's organic. It's friends getting together to make music.
It is, and we still, enjoy hanging out with each other. And, while we don't see each other as much when we're at home, it's like we get that concentrated time when we're on tour. And of course, if somebody's having a party or doing something, we'll get together. But
sure.
I have 13-year-old twins. So when I come home, I'm kind of, diving into that world. Like, I'm volunteering later today at the school and just, they have soccer and they're in a theater group.
Oh man.
The Silver Lake Theater Group, and I'm actually in the parent band. So
nice.
Wow.
I'm in the middle of learning a bunch of covers for that. And one of the songs we're doing is Growing Old is Getting Old, one of our songs.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so one of my daughters is singing that. So we just started practicing that together. And then, I'm also learning like Pulp, Common People, and then there's David Bowie, just a lot of great covers.
Wow.
So I get to be a part of their existence in this world of theater. So
sure. Does mom give them pointers at all, or do they want nothing to do with hearing from mom, or is it?
Well, it was interesting because we didn't really start practicing until we had to practice, together.
Okay.
At their rehearsal. And I just thought it was my daughter Margot, and I was like, I thought she did such a beautiful job. I had nothing, I was just so proud of her it's like she knew the song because she's heard it so much.
Sure.
And we just had to change the key a little so she could sing in Brian's vocal range.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited I'm excited that they are welcoming me into their world, and I can still be a part of their world as they're growing into teenagers. And
oh yeah. But you're and that I went through that with my daughters. Obviously they're in their 20s now, but yeah, it was always kind of being a musician dad or musician mom, I think kind of has a different effect on your relationship with your kids. I think like I was kind of the cool dad, and I was the cool dad to all my daughter's friends because, I got earrings, I've got tattoos, I have long hair, it's like, oh, we're going to go over to Nikki and Sammy's house and hang out with them because their parents are kind of cool and dad still listens to all sorts of music. And so I would imagine, again, your daughter's getting into their teens right now too, but I would imagine that's kind of the same relationship that you're looking at with your daughters, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think they still cringe sometimes when they
Oh, I'm not saying that doesn't ever happen, but
and I can also tell the kids who have musician parents or parents that have been like feeding their kids all this wonderful music and making that like a focal point of their lives, because they will be singing along with things in the car, and then I can tell that their parents have like been nurturing that aspect of their lives as well. So
yep.
I'm for the ride. I'm just trying to like ride their waves.
Are they like wowed by show footage, or when they come to shows, or like, when you show them Coachella performances, are they like, that's so cool, or are they just like, yeah, whatever?
No, I think they have a healthy attitude towards it, and I think they're more excited to go like get sparkling water backstage, or get they're excited to bring their friends, and then now they're like coming on the side of the stage, and when we play around Los Angeles, they'll come bring out my guitar for me during a song. They're still excited to do that, and I think they have fun when they bring their friends along, and
that is so cool.
Enjoy the show.
That is so cool. Do they have?
Sorry, go ahead, Dino.
No, go ahead, Don. Go ahead.
I'd read that you and Brian met on your way to the Cambridge exchange thing, because apparently you were like stealing liquor from the.
I know. He always mentions that.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
I love it. I need to know what.
At the time, we were under 21, so I was like, I didn't get one, but they were free. It's not like I was like planning on stealing, but I just like legally, I guess, so then I just took one. And he was laughing at me, so I know he liked to bring that up. But
hey,
it was funny, and
somebody had to.
Yeah, you can't say it hasn't crossed any of our minds every time that drink cart goes by. Oh, they won't miss that.
Yeah, I've never done that since, because now I can just ask for it. But before, I was like, and now I feel like even today, I'm in my 50. I don't even know how old I am, like 51 or 50. How old am I? I can't remember. I'm 51. But like ordering, if I do get like anything like wine or something, I always still feel like afraid for some reason, like something wrong. But
when you guys, you were like deciding you said it kind of organically was just you guys playing music together. Was there like a shared vision for how you guys wanted it to sound, or was it kind of just like, let's just play together, see what happens, and then it was formed?
Yeah, we were just like, let's play together, see what happens, and nobody wanted to sing at the time when we were starting, so everyone just like backing off the mic, and then Ryan started mumbling something. I knew he had a good voice, and so I wanted him to be the singer. So it's just like eventually he got the confidence, I think, to grow into the role of lead singer, but I think in the beginning he was just as timid as all of the rest of us. And then it just started working out. And then I told him, I was like, I want us to go to CMJ. It was this college music journal festival from years ago. I don't know if it still happens in any way nowadays, but I was like, I want us to go to New York and enter this festival. So I put like a tape recorder in the middle of the room, and I just recorded our practice. And then I took Polaroids of all of us and our cat, Cauliflower, who's in the Kissing Families video. And then I just hand wrote this bio about us. And then I laminated it, because at the time we had a laminating machine at work. And then I sent that in a tape to CMJ, and then we got in, which was kind of shocking.
Wow.
To us, because it really was so rudimentary, like what we're doing. But that was our first show, because I knew if I got us a show, then we would have to practice and be focused. Yeah. And then while we were there, someone from Spaceland, Mitchell, who was, the booker at the time, or who owned Spaceland, he's like, oh, you have a band now. And he knew us because we'd go to the shows all the time. And he's like, when you get back, I'll book you a show. So he booked us, like midnight at, we'd be the cleanup band for
Yeah.
Many years we were just like, just give us any, like after every show we would play, and then I'd follow up and be like, do you have any other shows we can play? Or, you know, so he knew that we could bring a lot of people there because we had a lot of friends in Silver Lake and everyone was like always going to shows. So
Yeah.
We would either play first band or last band. We would never be in that coveted like middle spot, those middle spots for like at least a couple of years, and then we've been doing that ever since. And here we are. We're just always like grateful that we are still here. It's like we would have never thought. I still had my day job for until 2007. You know, I would take vacations.
Okay.
Or sometimes I was working when I was working at Rhino Entertainment, which does like reissues and like we were working on Land of the Lost and the Beach Boys documentary, or all these DVDs I was working on. But sometimes I could take them on the road and they would let me work.
Oh, wow.
Remotely, and Brian would help me do like chapter breaks or whatever. And then finally, though, they were really encouraging because a lot of the people that worked there were musicians, and my boss was so nice about letting me take off work to go on tour. But I think in 2007 we were touring with Snow Patrol, and we were gone like 7 weeks. And she's like, "I'm so sorry that." Now, you know, we can't keep you on anymore if you're gone.
Yeah.
So, but that gave me the diving board or whatever to make that switch so that I could like slowly transition into becoming a working musician.
Yeah.
Did that take a while, like knowing that you were kind of like 9 to 5 mode and sharing both, and then was it kind of weird at first?
I love 9 to 5 mode. I mean, I'm just like, I love having coffee in the morning. That's just like part of who I am. So being on tour is always a bit harder for me because I like the stability of being at home. And I don't know, I have a hard time leaving. But so when I go on tour, I try to make the most of it. Like I'll go to all the museums or I'll do whatever, you know, things the city has to offer, like, because it's important for me to enjoy or to learn about the city that we're in and not just go backstage or not just, you know, that gets really boring to just be in a room all day. So I try to go out. And sometimes I've almost missed the shows, like when we're playing early, because I'm just barely getting back into the show. Well, I mean, the hardest time when we were touring with Muse and playing all of these arenas, and I didn't realize it can be very difficult to get back into like Madison Square Garden. Like I went across the street to go mail some postcards and then I couldn't figure out how to get in. And so finally I just went in the front door and I was like, I have to get in. I don't have my pass or anything. I'm just like, I'm about to play. And so you know, I got on the stage right as we were starting. And then people in line are like, it's okay. She's like she's in the opening. And then like, but it happened at Boston Garden. Like I'm riding in with all the people. So I'm like, oh, how do I get in here? But, you know, I just don't want to stay just backstage.
Yeah.
If you ever want to find me, I'll just be walking around within like 2 miles of the venue. So.
Well, you're going to be in Boston in September, I think it is. So I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm in southern New Hampshire. So when you're in Boston, I'll be cruising the Green Line and the Orange Line, looking for you. Maybe I'll try and get you back to the garden.
They have a wonderful museum. Their modern art museum is beautiful. I think that's where I was coming from once when I was late. But is that with Weezer when you were going to be there, or? Yeah,
with Weezer.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'll keep an eye open. I'll keep an eye open for you, Nikki, across the street, and like, but you don't think about stuff like that. It's like, you know, when you go from venue to venue, you go from the tour bus to backstage, and that's kind of your world. But once I call it like leaving the airport system. Like once you get through security and you're out of the airport, you got to go through that whole rigmarole of trying to get back into the airport sort of thing. And you don't think of like, oh, wait a second, I don't have a pass. Like, are they actually going to believe that I am in the band that's going on in 20
Yeah,
minutes?
actually, they don't know. They're getting a new band all the time. In a place like, say, Madison Square Garden, there's like 7 different things going on.
Right.
They have the theater, they have the giant area, and there's just like other things like in this grand, building. So
Yeah. But that's awesome though that you know, and yeah, you do have to kind of get out of that environment, I guess, to kind of keep your sanity a little bit and have some semblance of, well, you're in a city that you've never been to before. You want to go see what the city's all about. You know, you want to take it in a little bit. So that's cool that you do that. But you can't remember your passes.
Well, so arena tours are especially difficult because then it's like you like wake up in the belly of the beast almost, and it's like so dark. And not that it's not dark in like every venue, but like dark arena vibes all day long is like not cool. It just feels like,
I always used to try to find the Zambonis that are like
Steal the keys.
I would like, because we often were in the away team's locker room, and it was just interesting to see.
Oh yeah.
That, and they always have like something to take a picture of in front of so I always try to find that area. But it's interesting because some of them were like falling down and like to the side, and some I really enjoyed the one in the Golden State Warriors had a really good backstage. But say in Boston, like everything's all green carpet, green paint, green everywhere if you're in the away team. And I'm like wondering, does that inspire them to be angry and aggressive, or is that like intimidating? But it was interesting that they even did that in the first place. They like had to like.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I don't know. It might have something to do with, because the Celtics green and trying to psych out the opponent.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Like it's like bright green, the whole room.
Yeah,
like, this is so weird,
man.
But
how'd you gravitate towards the Thunderbird specifically for like your song?
Oh well, okay, so before Brian and I were in a band, he was in a band called Sad Monster, and he borrowed my bass, the one that I had gotten in high school, and it was this Ibanez that I had bought from my best friend's brother. But by the time he was done playing with it, like 2 of the knobs were broken off, and he just handed it back to me like, "Here's it, it's broken." But I think his birthday was around the corner, so we got like 20 friends together, and we originally bought him a P bass to replace this Ibanez that he broke. But then we had the place we lived at, we called Leaky, and we had parties all the time. Like it was a big, like we just loved throwing parties. I think Brian and I were always loved the challenge of trying to get to a party together in 5 minutes. So it's like, okay, let's have a party. So when we were playing at Silver Lake Lounge, and I then was borrowing his bass, his new P bass, when we started the band, because I no longer had a bass. So I borrow his. And then we played the Silver Lake Lounge, but we were having a party after. So he's like, we got to get out of here after we play. So I was like, let's do like a dummy check. Let's go back and make sure we got everything. He's like, no, we got everything. Let's go. So that night, the P bass was left because we didn't check. So that got stolen. And then somebody came to the party and was like, "Are these your pedals?" They brought my little suitcase of pedals, and I was like, "Yeah." But anyway, so the bass was stolen, and then, but I had renter's insurance, so we were able to, replace it.
Yeah.
So I asked Brian, I was like, "Do you mind if we try this Thunderbird? Like, I see a Thunderbird on eBay. Do you mind if we try that one? Because I'm interested." I just was like interested in the tones of those that I'd heard. So he's like, "Sure, we can replace it with a Thunderbird." So that's where I started playing Thunderbirds. And that one was so great. It was the paint was all stripped off. So it was just like, I love the sound of that. But every time we went and toured, if it rained, it would like, there'd start being dead notes because it had no lacquer to protect it.
Yeah.
It would just suck up all the water. And then, so that was a problem. we ended up, from since then, I discovered how much I loved the sound of Thunderbirds. And I used to play a Galen Kruger bass because another friend of ours just had one. And I think I bought it from him, but I love the way his sound. He would make all this experimental music. His name was Damian Romero, and he would sometimes, when he played, like I remember seeing him play, and the bass started going on fire, like was smoking, going on fire, because he was making such intense noise. And he would sometimes put paint. And, he put paint in a canvas on top of his bass and then like make art. It would start rumble so much, the vibrations would create this beautiful piece of art. But anyway, so, but then through that, I slowly gravitated towards the Ampeg after I think that bass, I don't know if it broke, what happened to that bass amp, but I had been researching Ampeg and then Ampeg tube amps. And I love the classic SVT, and I've just never gone back. I use the same cabinet I've used since the first one I bought. It's gotten all torn up, but now we keep it in a case, and it's just like they're so. I don't want to start a commercial for you guys, but it's like no, it like withstands everything. And we still tour with a tube amp, even though it's a little more difficult than solid state, but every couple of years we just have to like have it tuned up, and then it's just I love it.
In fact, Premier Guitar did a rig rundown of
is that the P bass on the well thought out Twinkles video?
Good question.
I don't think it is because I think that one might be white. If no, the P bass was stolen.
Okay. Before
that video was made. So but I think somebody had just brought that because it was white and the whole video is black and white. So question though.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go on.
So I was going to say to that question, when you're in the studio, and I was going to ask you, because I want to talk about the new album, Tenterhooks, but the first track, and through the whole album, your bass sound is like amazing. Not that it's not amazing on all the other records too, but like that was the first thing that kind of jumped out at me was Ampeg, Thunderbirds, the bass sound. So are you using Thunderbirds on the recording as well, or are you kind of going through a battery of different basses?
I use, usually it's between two basses, my Thunderbird, but it's been modified because it's really hard to record Thunderbirds.
Okay.
So this one that's been modified, Butch Vig, our producer, and his right-hand man, his engineer, Billy Bush, they were always struggling because I was always like, we have to record Thunderbird. How are we going to? So they were always struggling because it's like it's like kind of hot, but then it's like difficult.
Okay.
So they changed the pickups, and now it's brighter, and it's just like it works so much better for recording.
Okay.
And then we also use a P bass that is I forget his name. The bass player of the Goo Goo Dolls has a limited edition bass. Yes. And somehow Butch got a hold of this bass, and it sounds beautiful when it's recorded.
Okay.
I don't even know if Robbie knows that we're using his bass. Those are the two basses that I'll use. So a modified Thunderbird and his bass from the Goo Goo Dolls. So, but yeah, the P bass, and instead of dots on it, it has like footprints because I guess he like plays live barefoot maybe. But so it has these little footprints on where the dots go.
Okay.
But
that's awesome. I've only seen BBs actually live. So
what?
Yeah, I've only seen like Yamaha BB basses live.
Well, I don't know if he doesn't play with those P basses anymore, but we get a lot of good sounds out of them.
Cool. I'm stoked to check it out, the new record. I've been a fan of the band for a long time.
Yeah, no, and Butch is so, because sorry, go on, Dom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Thunderbird tone, like that is so like signature to the band. Like that's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah, no, I
better or worse, it's cool how you fell into it because it is so like,
But it sounds, I think it's specifically like the Ampeg with the Thunderbird. I just love the tone of it, and I don't have to use too many pedals because I feel like you can sort of manipulate the sound by playing differently, but it's just like the way that it resonates, and just there's something very special, I think, about that combination. And the guys are always like, hey, try out you should try out something new. And I'm just like, because I'm like, why? I love what this sounds like. But I don't know, maybe someday. And even the small, like that small, what do you call the
micro?
The micro
that you used in the video.
Yes, that sounds great live. I play in a parent band called the Helicopters. That is my girls' elementary school. And so we play like at Halloween on the street, or so, or for the holiday Christmas tree lighting. We'll play, right after, the 5th grade chorus or whatever. But I used the micro amp for that. And it's like the first time I brought out the giant SVT to like somebody's yard. And then we realized that the micro amp does everything that I wanted to do. And it's a lot easier to carry around.
It's a lot easier.
And I'm so happy with it, and it's adorable. And so so definitely for the Reservoir video that we just did, I was like, no, I'd prefer the micro, not only because it's easier to carry around, but it's just so cute. I just love it.
It fit the whole vibe of that video too, by the way.
We had also used it. What was the song? Alone on a Hill. We used it then for that video as well. So we've gotten a lot of use out of it. So
yeah.
I just wanted to know, I appreciate that amp.
Oh no, well, like I said, when I saw it in the video too, first of all, I know we had talked about it before we went live about the concept behind the video and you playing all the parts, and I still want to talk about that, but when I saw it in the video, and then it dawned on me, it's like, oh, so she's playing drum, like you're playing all the different parts in the video. So when you're playing bass, obviously you had the micro VR behind you, and when you were playing guitar, you had, I think it was like a Fender Twin or something behind you. And so it was cool how the video switched. But explain to us the idea behind that, because I'm sure we see the finished product of the video, but what we don't see is, you probably, for every instrument that you played in that video, you had to run through the song a couple of times.
Yeah, probably more than a couple, especially with the drums. I was struggling. I was, I have taken, a few drum lessons over my life, but I'm not, a drummer at all. But I wanted the challenge of learning how Christopher plays, because he plays open-handed. And he was very nice to like the night before. I'm like, Christopher, how do you play the song? And then he sent me some videos of him from different angles, so I could try to get it along. But I tried my best, and I think there's some good edits. But I was like, we got to do a fill like this, and just. I was trying to remain true to how Christopher plays, and I thought that was how, I would do an homage to him in that.
Yeah.
But our friend Susie, I don't know why, but for some reason she's like, why doesn't Nikki do everything? And so the guys, I think they always shy away from a performance video, so they no problem letting her.
That's awesome.
Have her way with me. But with Brian, I was just trying to learn. I was like, oh, what's he doing? So for like a couple of days, I was like, what is he doing? And then I couldn't figure it out. So I went over to his house. I'm like, what do you do there? And it was so like part of the greatness of Brian's playing is that it's so hard to come up with it. But once you're like, oh, you're just doing that. And then it's so simple I mean, I'm not saying it's simple at all, but like what I imagine, what I hear him doing sounds like 50 guitars are happening.
Yeah.
But it comes down to it, it's still like at the root, so hard to like create something like that. But so like, but you're like, oh, it's just that this can be played on an acoustic guitar simply, as well as like sounding so giant over. But he was very nice about that. And then Joe's he actually lives in Kansas City now, so I just had to figure out the keyboard part.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, go ahead.
No, but that I was able to do that because I had played keyboards before. So
right.
And then I just figure out the bass part that I was doing. No, I just had to practice, because there's like 6 months in between when we make the song and when we're doing the video. I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing there?
What did I do here?
Like, the second something is tracked, it is out of my brain. Like,
so it's a good way for me to practice for tour, though. So I have to calm down when we.
But I was going to ask you, Nikki, like, what is like the writing and the creative process amongst the band? Like, I mean, listening to this, and I will admittedly say I'm probably a newer listener, newer fan of Silversun pickups, so I'm like going through the catalog, especially the latest album. There's so many layers.
Brian
into the production. It's amazing.
Brian allowed layers all day long. It's great to watch him, like just at the end, just like adding more and more little guitar twinkles and stuff.
Man,
but he'll come in with song ideas, and then we just kind of build on those. And I think it's been so nice because we have been working with Butch now for many years, so he knows what we're like, and he can bring out the best in us. And he's so fast at what he does. It's like we don't even know. Like usually when we come in, we'll talk for the first half hour, and then all of a sudden, like he gets us to start playing. He'll just like he's a master not manipulator, but you know what I mean. It's just like all of a sudden we're focusing.
Or
like 10 minutes before, we're just like talking about movies or whatever, and then I could see his mind is always working. And even when we've just recorded something, like he can hear things that nobody else would even think about, like little like tweaks, or like he like something will just be standing out to him that he like has to fix, but we're like, oh, we would have never noticed that. But because that's why the greatness of Butch is that he catches those things.
Sure.
So but I would say the most fun is when just adding things at the end and making noises that you don't know what you're like, what is that? Part of what.
But that's your process, though, is in the studio together.
We used to come in, record demos ourselves, like have this horrible demo, and then we would like build, like then transfer that to the studio and be like, this is the idea, but this sounds horrible because we don't know how to record anything, as a band. No, I'm just saying we tried. No, we sincerely try, but that's where we realize the genius of engineers and producers, because you're like, know everything about playing this song except for how to put it down.
And
record it. So, but now Butch, I think we just go in and Brian will start playing his idea, and then we'll just start building on it. And sometimes, Butch will be happiest with Brian's first acoustic guitar that he's just doing for a scratch guitar. He's like, let's keep it. It sounds great. And there's something spontaneous about that, as opposed to making it so streamlined and perfect. It's nice how it sounds.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we've grown into it. And, I think Butch is so good at knowing what kind of bass sound that I want. Like, I just have to say a few things and he's already on top of it. And just, I'm always very blown away by how in tune he is with getting it to sound so well. And Billy together.
That's crazy. That's all. And I mean, that's why Butch is Butch too.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does, and
Nice.
you
And
know,
he
yeah.
so the Wisconsin in him is just like emanating. And oh yeah, recently he got us in, like, the past few years we've been doing something called Joey's Song, which is something that he and his friend Mike um, have been working on for many years, which does it raises money for epilepsy and epilepsy research. And he gets together all these amazing musicians, and then we do a couple nights of, like, we cover each other's songs, we cover Beatles songs, we cover Big Star songs, and Jody Stevens from Big Star is in it, and this year Matt Sorum did, and it's just like all these
Wow.
like amazing musicians. Vicki Peterson and her sister from the Bengals, and some of the Go-Go's, Jane Whelan and Gina Shock. And it's like, we get to be a part of this. Like, it feels like going to a dog park of musicians. And we were like, oh my God, I'm so excited to play this song. I'm so excited to play this song with you. And now, you created this song, and now we're all part of this, and to go for such a good cause.
Yeah.
It's so we've been doing it every January in Wisconsin,
Okay.
in Madison. So that's something that we do when we're not touring in January, because nobody likes to tour in January. It's like perfect. Everyone's free. But this year we had Kurt Smith from Tears for Fears. He joined us. So it was
Wow.
like everybody trying to like learn the drums for Tears for Fears song. Is like, I saw all the drummers, like, they're all staring at each other, trying to figure out like these Tears for Fears songs. So
that is awesome.
that was fun. So anyways, I don't know how I got off track, but I just
I was just thinking though,
for anyone who's in Wisconsin or wants to travel there in January, it's such a fun show.
Okay. I'm assuming it's an indoor show if it's in Wisconsin in January.
Show. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And okay, Dom?
I was just curious, like, who are some of your specifically with bass, like some of your influences, like musical influences?
I think growing up, like Taran Porter from the Doobie Brothers.
Cool.
Right before we started playing, we were listening to a lot of Modest Mouse, like Eric Judy. I love melodic bass lines, and also like Kim Deal and Kim Gordon. It's just like combining all of these beautiful bass players and knowledge, and having hopefully some of that seep in has been, like I said, I just enjoy listening to bass lines, and I love. Now it's been so fun because with Joey's song and the Silver Lake Theater group that I'm doing a lot of covers, so I can just see how people like see their bass lines and really like learn. And then I'm like, oh, that's so interesting what other people have created, and I find it really enjoyable too. Now, I never did that really growing up, like playing other people's song. I kind of just went into playing the bass doing Silversun songs. So now it's like maybe I'm doing it in the opposite way, where I'm actually learning now, what like dissecting the song and seeing what's there. And of course, Carol Kay is a big influence.
Sure.
Beautiful melodic bass lines.
Yeah. And I was going to mention that too. It's like you came at it kind of like almost in a completely opposite direction versus, like a lot of bass players, they come up through the ranks learning songs and playing for people, and every now and then at some point they land in their spot with their band that they've grown a career with. But you have been the bass player for Silversun since day one.
Yes. That's what we had. I'm like, oh, I have a bass. Okay, great. Let's
yeah.
But again, getting back to that whole organic thing.
Yeah.
About, a bunch of friends getting together to play music, then that kind of, well, I'm going to play this, you're going to play that. We're going to make music, whatever it takes. and then that friendship turns into a band, and then that band turns into what you've been doing for the last 20 years, and that, I mean, and now going out and learning songs from other bass players it's like, that is so cool that it's a whole different perspective on learning the instrument, in my opinion.
Yeah. I used to think like having less knowledge was better, so that you're just like making something fresh, or like, I don't want rules
of
what you're supposed to do. Like sometimes when we talk to people who actually know how it's like, were trained classically through their instrument, like they're like, why did you not go to the fifth? Or we're like, what? Like we don't, like having a conversation with them is interesting, because they don't understand us and we don't understand them. But I think now as we're getting older, we're like, oh, we should know something about like musical, about theory for our instrument. But I also love the instinct. Sometimes, not always, like the more you perfect your instrument, the more less instinctive it becomes, and then it's not fun to watch. Like I'll way prefer to watch a new band who don't really know how to play their instruments, because I know they're just doing it from the heart more, and not letting like all the rules get in the way. But as I'm getting older, I appreciate like people who know what they're doing. So I think,
I mean, there's definitely a, I don't want to say a line there, but and of course, being so close to Boston, with a bunch of really good music schools in Boston, like Berkeley and the Conservatory. And I remember when I was living in LA, going to Musicians Institute, you would see ads at Nadine's Music looking for musicians, like bass players and guitar players, and they would specifically say no GIT students or no Musician Institute, and it was like, and I understand why that was, because for whatever reason, sometimes you don't want that interfering with the creative process. Like, oh geez, this song should be a 1-4-5 or a 2-5-1, or music theory states that it has to go this way, sort of thing.
Because once you get in that mode, it's hard to get out of that mode.
Very much so, because not only do your eyes and your brain and your knowledge train you that way, but then your ears follow. And it's like, if you hear something different, your ears are like, why doesn't that sound right? Well, because right, doesn't sound right. Does that mean it's not right? No.
No,
it's not right.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, it was really interesting when you went to this note instead of this note, where I would have guessed you would have gone. And I was like, oh, I didn't.
There's no roadmaps here.
But I appreciate people who have also mastered their instrument. I don't say anything.
Well, me as a listener too, like if I see a band play live, like it's one thing to, like, it's obviously like know the songs and perform them, but like to have it both as a vocalist or bassist, like I don't want the same performance every night. Like I would love going to see bands live and seeing something different than what I'm getting from the record. Like just it's just like a little bit different feel or different, approach on a verse or something like that. But I'm like, I feel like people that are deep into theory too is like, this is the performance, this is the song, this is how it's played. But somebody was asking along those lines, kind of like how much reading do you do to learn bass lines?
Oh, what does that mean? Honestly, if you looked at my notes, they were filled with like my own special, it's just like 1s and 4s and 20. Like it's all, I don't write out tab, but it's something that I understand it. So I don't, and if I need to get a bass, like if I need to write it down in a bass note, I have to think about it on piano first, and then try to bring it back to the bass, because it's like I didn't learn that way, so I just learned more by ear. But I do take meticulous notes when we're recording, just because I get so nervous, like the finality of it all.
Yeah.
Like makes me, and I don't want to like waste Butch's time or our producer,
Sure.
I just, so but my notes are not, chart notes. They're like my Scrabble. So
Yeah. Would you say it's more like a Nashville numbers system where you just kind of, you write out the roadmap of the song sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but as far as like, but it's hard for me to like, I have to imagine it in a piano form and then move
Sure.
back to bass. So that just takes a long time for me. So I
Yeah.
have to write down a bunch of numbers, and it
Yeah.
makes me, that's what I can read.
And I mean, myself, speaking for myself, I know, like when I'm learning a song for an artist or for a session or whatnot, if I look at a chart or I chart the song out myself, I'm chained to that chart for the rest of
Right,
eternity.
right.
Whereas if and I tell whoever I'm playing with, like, I'd rather memorize the song and go into rehearsal and flub it up a couple of times, but then have it down without having to look at a chart.
Right,
You know, 'cause
right.
if and other people are like, no, we got to get this right the first time. So I was like, all right, well, I got to read the chart because I know I'll screw it up the first time without looking at a chart. And from that point on, I am like,
That's
I
it.
am tied to that chart,
Yeah.
tied to the chart.
Look at that.
No matter how many times I've played Mustang Sally, although I do know the changes to Mustangs, but just as it's like I am tied to that chart for the rest of my life. It's
I love
a
like
weird thing.
any rehearsal where people have been brave enough to like share notes or share, this is what I tried, this is what, like, it doesn't matter how many people are trained in how many different ways. If there's like 10 different charts, there's gonna be like 10 different ways that
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
in combinations of things. When people look at my little iPad notes, it's like another language. I'm like, yeah, I know what it means.
I learned that when we were doing the theater group last year. We were doing all the songs from CBGBs, and the guitar player, he nicely gave everyone a copy of his notes, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. This has no relation to what I'm doing. So, but I appreciated that he had it my way, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. So then I just listen. I'm like, does it sound like I'm playing the same notes as him? And that's
Right.
how that goes.
Yeah. Sometimes you get them in Sanskrit, and it's.
Hey, shout out to the last user that had that question, book 3100. They made a comment of like, I'm reminded I got to put a Fralin pickup in my 54P bass. I did exactly that, and you won't regret it. And I felt very sacrilege to do it at first, but because I was like, it's a Fender 54. Why would I? But it sounds amazing. Go for it.
Always, I feel the same way about like altering something how it originally was meant to be, but like how we made the change in the Thunderbird. Actually, we called mine a Thunder Giraffe. We have a little like, it's a giraffe. It looks like a Thunderbird, but we've created a giraffe. Joe and our old front of house guy and a friend helped create a giraffe that looked like a Thunderbird for my.
That is awesome.
Is
that in the
yeah?
I have it right here.
I was gonna say, is that in the rig rundown video? I can't remember.
So.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes.
So awesome.
That is awesome.
That's great. You almost got like borderline Pegasus or like unicorn vibes.
Thunder but now some of our crew has those tattoos, and it's
oh yeah,
do they really? Nice. That's awesome.
Somebody asked Nikki, when you perform live, have you ever based your performance on the vibe of the room, like reaction? Yes, definitely. I think that we are always like in the moment, like we try to, or I know that I do, and I think that of course the guys do too, just to be in that moment. And it very much changes the vibe of the room like that we're in. Like our performance is definitely affected by everyone else. It's like a give and take from the audience. And I think definitely we react to our environment And it definitely changes when it's a seated theater versus one like that. It just depends the sound of the room. Like Kane's Ballroom is one of our favorite places to play. It's just got such a great vibe, and the people there in Tulsa. That's in Tulsa, and like the 930 Club. I have this is my favorite mug.
Cool.
It's my special.
That's
Actually,
awesome.
this one, mine broke, and Brian was nice enough to give me his.
Nice.
But
that's cool.
Do you prefer smaller rooms than say like TD Garden where you'd be playing with the?
I think I get a lot less nervous if I'm in a giant place.
In a giant place,
like the audience is very far from you. Just physically, it feels like it's just a lot easier for me when we play at these big places or big festivals. Like it feels different than when you see people right at your feet.
You feel there's more of a separation between you and the audience.
Yes. Get much more nervous when it's just or even if we do an acoustic set for like 50 people. That's when I get nervous, not when we're playing. But it spans. We usually play old theaters, but it varies, like the amount of people that are at every show or what we have to do. So, but yes, so being in arenas for me much easier. Then it just feels like it's the four of us on stage.
Yeah.
For each other.
Yeah, because I was just looking up, like May 9th, you're at the Strand Ballroom in Providence, Rhode Island. And then May 11th, you're at State Theater in Portland. So which are more of those types of rooms? They're like,
yeah. Oh, I love Portland, Maine. Oh,
it's a great city, isn't it?
It is a great city. And every time we go there, I get some more silverware because I started buying my silverware from there.
That's awesome. It's
I'm like, we're playing Portland again. I gotta go
silverware shopping. My daughter went to Maine College of Art in Portland, so we were there quite a bit. And my running joke with her was like, man, if you ever go hungry in this city, you ran out of money because there's so much food, great food, everywhere around town.
But that was the first experience I ever had where I ordered a lobster roll, and then they're like, okay, it'll be about a half hour. And we watched the boat coming in.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Has there been anything internationally, either like concert etiquette wise or just crowd reaction wise, that was like kind of a shock?
Probably we played in Japan many years ago, and we were second in this festival lineup. First, it was going to be a Japanese band, then us, then like MGMT and Devo and Coldplay. It was like just like got bigger and bigger, and we're like, nobody's going to be there for us, which is a bummer, but we're excited to play in Osaka or whatever. And then as we were getting there at like 9 a.m., it was so trafficy. It was a weekend. We're like, what is all this traffic? And it was basically like everyone got there right when it started at 10 a.m. It was a filled giant arena or whatever we were playing in. And then everyone like stayed the whole time. It was like a crowded for everyone. And it was so nice that I'm like, oh, you just show up. It says to start, it starts at 10 a.m. and everyone's there. And then, we stayed till the end, till after Coldplay played. Everyone's leaving spotless.
Right.
No red cups everywhere, just trash. It was like a spotless. I was shocked. And then we played in Osaka and then Tokyo, and we just left. They're like, just leave all your stuff right there. And we came back the next night to Tokyo, or 2 days later, and everything was exactly as we left it in the new place.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big shock that I was so impressed with our experience in Japan.
That's so cool. But yeah, it's very, very true.
Yeah.
We're at the top of the hour here.
Hey.
But
I so fast.
You haven't forgotten it yet. We got the toughest part is coming up.
Yes.
It'd be rad to get an official SSPU bass tab book someday.
That would be cool.
Maybe someday. I might be embarrassed to show
No.
the scratch that I write down. But he always laughs at it. He's like, "Oh, you're getting your book out because they have this like."
Got to do it. I
Now
think
I
you got to do it, Nikki.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
I feel like whatever new pickups you have in your Thunderbird, just do like one little tweak to them to make them 100% your signature, and then you could sell them as the Silversun pickups.
I know. You know what? We went to Gibson. We're like, you should have this be a recording one. Like, and they had no interest. But we're like, hey, we're gonna have ours right here. It's the best one for recording.
Yeah,
Dom, you're onto something there.
I'm
telling you. Okay, so one thing that I didn't point out in the outline I sent you yesterday was we have like a quick. Well, now it's up to 16 questions.
Okay.
And it's just nothing to be nervous about. They're real easy. It's just they go from gear to kind of touring questions. It's going to be fun. Trust me.
Am I going to remember? Oh, hold on a second. Okay, there we go. A FaceTime call from my neighbor. Okay.
Oh, you should put them on.
No. Yeah.
It was actually on a group chat with 11 people. I think he might have made a mistake.
Okay, so the point is, I give you multiple choice, and then you choose your favorite. So, first question being, and we know obviously the answer to this would be Thunderbird, but the first question is P bass or jazz bass?
Oh, I have P bass.
Okay.
See, I used to have an old Reading jazz bass, and I don't know. I just like the P bass better. I can't explain why, but once I started playing Brian's P bass, I just really enjoyed playing that. So it's really, maybe someday I could come back to that, but for now, I would say P bass.
Okay, all right.
Thunderbird.
Well, absolutely. In fact, I think Gibson should do a Nikki Monninger signature Thunderbird and call it the Giraffe. Yeah,
totally agree.
Passive or active electronics?
Oh, you know what? Interesting. I would have always said passive, but there's an active pickup in this new Thunderbird.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
For what reason I feel like you should have a signature.
That's you have to put a battery in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still learning.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's enough.
Round wounds or flats? Round wound strings or flats?
Oh, round wound.
Okay. B15 or SVT? I think we know the answer.
SVT is a B15 like the 15-inch one? Like what is
a little
like my little studio amp here?
Oh yeah, no, SVT, of course.
Okay. Cable and I was going to ask you about this, but cable or wireless?
Oh, you know what? I used to, for a while, I was going wireless, but then when I became pregnant, I just got nervous about like the things in the air. I just then I went back to a cord, and I'm just happy with a cord.
Okay, all right.
Not anything can happen. It just like made me ultra aware of like
with all the RF frequencies flying around, and I noticed on some of the videos that I saw you in, you had your battery, and I don't know if this was for your bass or if it was for your in-ears, but you had your wireless pack strapped to your arm.
Yes. Well, because when I play, I usually play in a dress.
Yep.
And it just became the one spot that I knew, like the dresses don't have belts always, or like right. To be able to access it, because often I need to turn it down at some points or up. So I need to have access to it. So that was pretty much the only place. And I didn't realize other people didn't do that. So here I am, I just put it. And then I'm using a strap. I bought like 5 of these straps 20 years ago, but it's basically those old iPod like running straps.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's perfect.
What I use, and now I have one left, so I'm like, I need to figure out.
Well, that's I agree.
I just thought I thought it was very interesting seeing it on your arm, but of course like you said, if you don't have any other, you're not wearing a belt, or it would make sense to put it on your arm so you have an easy reach to it.
People who have it just like in their dress back here, and I'm like, what do you do if like things go haywire and you're in your ear? You need to be able to because sometimes things they go really loud for some reason. Anyways, that's right.
Okay. Pick or fingers?
Pick, but I am starting to use my fingers. But if we have something really mellow, or if there's something that I don't want, like any sort of click of a bass pick, like on slower songs, sometimes I'm becoming more comfortable using my fingers. So but in general, I like how you can dig into it and what the sound it makes.
Yep. The attack. Okay.
Like for our music.
Number 7, IEMs or floor wedges?
What's the IEM? Is that in-ears?
In-ear monitors, yeah.
In-ears, because I could never hear, like traditionally in the past, Brian's amp was always so loud. I couldn't even hear my wedges at all. You know what I mean? Everyone just keeps trying to put up my bass is loud.
Oh, yes.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, my vocals are pretty delicate. As far as like how Brian is a very strong singer and I'm very low in the mix, or so I need to have in-ears to like make it high in my ear.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's funny how wildly different our in-ear mixes are. Member to band member. But
Mike starts to walk over and look at my iPad settings and like judge where he's at based on everything. I was like, don't worry about it.
I try not to upset Joe too much, because I always keyboards are low, because once you get that wash of keyboards, then everything goes. And I'm just like, I just need to hear all the things. But I put them up a little now. I can.
Pedals or no pedals?
I use pedals, but not a lot. I have a woolly mammoth for when things get really aggressive.
Yep.
And like say the end of Lazy Eye, or and Growing Old is Getting Old. Like all of a sudden, like I'll use it then.
Okay.
Let's see. I love Strymon pedals. I have an Ola one. I have a Boss yellow distortion one.
Okay.
For a couple of songs, but in general, I find that I can manipulate just how I'm playing to suit that. And I also think that basses don't, unless there's like something really aggressive happening, the bass just needs to be a bass. So me, and I don't need a bunch of pedals. So
all right. And again, I think,
and a compressor, too much of my chagrin.
I think me too.
Yeah.
Okay, getting into travel, window or aisle?
Aisle, 100%.
Okay.
My family and we just got back from Japan, and I couldn't have the aisle. We were like window, and I was like, the whole trip.
I gotta have an aisle too.
Worried about waking people up and just need to be how we are.
Can't do it.
I don't like being locked in.
Yeah.
High bunk or low bunk?
High bunk always. I've had the same bunk for years, but because I know it's not realistic, but I think if I'm in the low bunk, somebody above me might collapse or something.
Same
my bunk for whatever reason, I always have to be up on the top bunk.
Okay.
Climbing.
Black with white piping or silver and blue? And we're talking about the cosmetics of Ampeg amps. And so your rig, this SVT with the cabinet, is black with white piping. But I don't know if you like that, or if you like more of the vintage look with the silver and blue, the old Ampeg stuff.
I think the mini amp, does that have the blue?
That's the mini amp is silver and blue. Yep.
I've never thought about it, but if I had a preference, it would be the silver and blue one, but it's not. My amp is not the silver.
Okay.
I'm just noticing the difference now, but I would go with the vintage one.
Okay. Hot chocolate or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay.
100%.
Favorite place to eat on the road, and it could be a specific restaurant or a cuisine or whatever comes to
Let's
mind.
go with a cuisine. Well, I have a soft spot for Stubbs in Austin, but the cuisine I like Thai food, so I would
Okay.
go with
Okay. But Stubbs and Austin, I mean, that
anything
yeah.
in Austin. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
once we saw, it was so exciting. Maybe it was Austin City Limits or something, but we saw Jarvis Cocker eating barbecue, and we were just all so confused and happy that he was eating barbecue. We were just like, this is adorable. He had his probably velvet burgundy suit on, and he's just having some barbecue
and eating barbecue. Oh man.
So excited. We got so excited.
Do you have a favorite go-to lick for sound check? Is there something that you specifically play for sound check?
Well, if I actually what song is that? It goes do 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 do. It's a classical
Oh
song.
yeah. What is that?
Is that Air on a G string? But I think well thought out twinkles if we're trying to get like my just basic rolling sound. So
okay,
that's probably what I go to.
Okay. Cheesecake or carrot cake? I told you some of these get kind of crazy, silly.
Cheesecake.
Okay. And then last but not least, favorite Saturday morning cartoon?
Smurfs. I mean, growing up, it was Smurfs. I would get so excited because they were for an hour and a half.
Yeah, they were.
And they'd go from like 8 to 9:30, and that would be my go-to cartoon. Are you talking about now or?
No, no. Like, I mean, mine was always Bugs Bunny Roadrunner hour. So
nice.
Cute. I also like Thundercats was always big.
Cool. I was
wow.
Batman the animated series, like the custom scores for everything. It was so cool.
And again, like I said, some of these are questions that Dom and I, like over the years, just kind of like, hey, that'd be a great top 10 question to ask. So this is a cumulative effort of questions. So
any more? Now I'm liking these questions.
That's it.
When the helicopters are going on tour.
Good question. And I think we're just touring our little town here.
That's the best name for a parent band ever.
I love it. But we have one of the besides Christopher, one of my favorite drummers is Stacy Glenn Jones. He's our drummer, and he's just had a lifetime of musical things going on, but he's one of my favorites. And his wife is our singer. Okay. And the musicians we play with are just so fun, and I really am enjoying learning all these covers. But I do feel like I am doing it backwards. Where oh my gosh, other people have these great bass lines to listen to, and I get excited.
A lot of producers and writers, when they're in album mode and creation mode, they will not listen to anything else because they're so worried that they're just going to like absorb something and it's going to get replicated in some way that they didn't realize. But
there is other, I mean, now it's like I one of our songs, I'm like, oh, that's my homage to the Grateful Dead, or I'm like, but I know it, but I know that that's like emanating out, but I understand what you're saying, but I'm just experiencing this as a 52-year-old. Now I'm just like, oh my God.
I say this, don't ever think you're not coming at it backwards. You're coming at it from a different angle.
Yeah.
Because there's no forwards or backwards in this, because it's all circular anyways. It's just where you got on the merry-go-round in music. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
We're all just doing our best. We're doing it live.
That's it. Right. That's it. And you are heading out on the road pretty soon too, right? You're
yeah. We go out in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I know we start in Oklahoma City. Oh, we're playing the Stone Pony, which I'm super
that's cool.
Nice.
Excited about. I always heard of that, venue, and in Bruce Springsteen his world, but
Asbury Park
is a really unique place. And I had never been to the Jersey Shore area, and just like the whole thing, I'm like, this place is awesome. Like, what a unique thing they have going on over there. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that one.
That's a legendary venue too. It definitely is.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully if I can't catch you down in Providence or Portland, I'll try and catch you on the Green Line in Boston.
Okay, yeah, just let me know, and we'll definitely put you on the list. And
I
Dom,
will.
if you want to come out to any shows, you're more
Yeah, I
than
saw you guys are playing with Weezer in October here, so I will definitely plan on that.
okay. All
Cool.
right. All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Nikki, thank you so much for your time on this. It's been too long since we saw you last, so hopefully you'll come back again soon. Maybe after the tour, and we can catch up how the tour was. So
okay, that would be great. That would be
awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.